Hello children, I am making this video so I can kind of show you how to create a logo, how to modify a logo, how to build on something. And since I can't be there tonight for the meeting, I figured you guys could watch this video of me working. Okay, so we talked about doing the first logo, which, in case you need a reminder, see, first logo. We talked about doing the first logo in the style of the Squid Game business card, the game card, which kind of makes sense, might pique people's interest enough to go and follow that QR code. So, when you're doing an image search in Google, if you want to find a nice big image to work with, you're going to hit Tools, and you're going to go to Size, and you're going to pick Large. And that's going to give you all of your larger files. And that's nice and clean. And if you notice that checkerboard background, that means that this is probably a PNG, so it's transparent, which is really nice to work with. So we're going to add it to Photos. And then we're going to go get the Squid Game card, which I've already searched for. And there it is. Super simple, super plain. You notice a tiny bit of shadow, which I think is actually supposed to be kind of it's supposed to make it look a little dirty and cheap. So we're going to do this one. Add to Photos. All right, and then I'm going to use Procreate. And I am going to open my first logo first. I'm going to make my canvas bigger so I can put both images on one page. I'm going to add my second image of the card. Now, they're in a different order, but basically you have the same elements. You know, you got your square, your triangle, your circle. So what we're going to do is we're going to recreate the first logo in this style. So we're going to use a little bit thinner black lines to create it. So don't know if I can sit and talk through all this, but we'll give it a try. All right. I think the fastest way to get this done is maybe to go up here to select, and I'm going to keep it on automatic, and I'm going to select these symbols, and I'm going to copy paste it. I go up to this little arrow and I move them, over here. There we go. And now I know I need my, triangle first, and you'll have to excuse all my mistakes. I decided to try to cut off two of my fingers so they're not working quite the way they're supposed to. So I'm going to cut out my triangle, I'm going to copy paste it, and now it's on a separate layer. This shows you all your layers. So your first logo is on one, your business card, your copied images, and then I'm copying the images out of that. So the next one I'm going to pull out is going to be the circle. Go back up here to the selection tool, select my circle. Got to make sure I'm on the right layer. Try that again. Copy paste. I know my circle's in the middle. I'm going to go back to this layer, and I'm just going to delete what I made copies of. So I'll just have a square on that layer. So there we go. Now we have them on 3 separate layers, and I can move them around independently from each other. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to move them over here, and I'm actually going to overlay them over top of the first logo. And I'm going to use Distort to pull my corners up to where it matches. And that's going to be my triangle. I'm going to go to my circle and do the same thing. Pull it over, down. It's hard to see where this circle ends because it is white. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and guess it. Close enough. And then square, same thing. If I put this on uniform, it's going to keep it proportional. And the square is pretty close to being in proportion to a square. I'm going to leave it there. All right, so now if I get rid of this, this is what I'm kind of looking at, right? Looks a little messy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these away from each other a little bit to give ourselves some space like we do on the card. I'm still going to keep them linked because I want them to be the first logo. And I think I'm going to actually change it. This is the problem. I do something and then I'm like, do I like it like that? Maybe I don't. Let's try this again. All right, so this time I'm going to keep everything in proportion instead of making it 3D like the first logo. Because I want it to be real plain like the Squid Game card. I don't want it to have any skewing. We'll leave that like that. We'll do the same thing to the circle. Oops. So if this wasn't tilted, I'm guessing it'd be about that big. And square. So, sometimes with this stuff, it's trial and error. You do something, you like it, you keep it, or you don't like it and you change it all up. So there we go. That's with it overlaid. But I'm going to move them apart and link them, and layer them, just like the first logo. So we're kind of still copying the Squid Game, the very plain image. But then I'm going to link them. Let's see. So we see that sometimes when you're working with things that are layered and you want to be able to tell them apart, what I'll do is I'll highlight them like this, and I'll pick a color. And I'll just make them that color so I can easily see the difference between what I'm looking at so I don't get them all messed up. So when I do this where I slide it over, it kind of locks it. And then when I color on it, it only colors on that layer where it exists. All right, so now I can see a little bit better. I know that this circle is supposed to go under the bottom of the triangle, or over the bottom of the triangle and under the top of it. So I'm going to highlight my triangle and I'm going to erase it. Oops, that's far too big. Like that. And then I'm going to go to my triangle. And I know that this is over it, so I'm going to get rid of this. Oops. Let's try that again. If I double tap, it undoes what I just did, and with the band-aids on my finger, it's happening a lot. So I apologize. All right, same thing over here with the square. I can see that the square goes under the bottom, over the top. So I am going to erase, whoops, wrong one. I'm going to erase here and here. Go to the circle, whoops, like that and that. All right, and then I'm gonna change these all back to black so I can see what it really is going to look like. Oops. That didn't work. Let's try this again. Highlight. Color. This triangle still. Alright. Alright. See what I'm getting at here? So I'm going to use our first logo, the essence of it. But I'm going to do it in the Squid Game style. So this brown paper that you see here is called chipboard. And so we'll print this on one side. So when people look at it, they'll be like, wait a minute, I kind of know what that is, but I don't know what it is. And maybe, just maybe, it will pique their curiosity to follow the QR code on the back. And the ways to make QR codes, are you on the right layer? All right. You can use an engine to create them. So you go out here and go to QR code generator. Don't mind my Roomba. I'm sorry if it's loud. Hopefully you can hear me. And you can create one. And there's a good chance Kristen already has something developed for you guys, because usually there's some sort of nominal fee you have to pay to keep them working. Unfortunately, I have not figured out a free method yet. I'm sure it exists. Maybe if we go down here to under ads and pick this one, we'd have to, obviously we're going to make our video, make it awesome, upload it to YouTube, and then use that hyperlink to create our QR code. And so when we create our card, we'll have the logo on the front and the QR code on the back. And yeah, so that's for today. I hope that helped to kind of see how I was going to create it kind of in the same style. If I want to move all of these at the same time, I can create a group like so. And I think I want to tilt it just a tad. Yeah, I like that better. So yeah, that's how it works. I hope you guys have a great meeting. We will see you tomorrow.